Yo everyone, it's Glow, and he done came back in with a new video. So picking back up where we left off, this is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 252. And we're seeing the aftermath of the legendary Yuta and Yuji jump session workshop that was executed flawlessly because it was definitely a worst case scenario. It seems well planned, and we've seen that Akosu planned to break down his barrier so then Maki can rush in. And I thought it was masterfully done. Like the fact that it was not only to throw him off, but Gege has a real special way of pretty much conditioning us to not know who's gonna survive or who's gonna win and how. You would have told me at the end of 251 and seeing what I saw, I didn't think Yuta was dead because I think he's too popular of a character, and that might just be my bias. I do rock with Yuta a lot, but also I thought maybe he would lose, but I don't think he would have died, if that makes sense. But going back to the chapter, the layers were just on point. This is the best and worst case scenario. Sukuna being the Chad that he is, acting like it's not phasing him as he has to now deal with the ghost of the Zenin clan, Maki herself. And as we see in the chapter, I wouldn't say he's not contending with her because he definitely is. I just think her strength stat is slightly above his, considering what her ability is. So it just makes sense that she might be physically stronger. But with everything Sukuna does, he can make up for that anyway. Keep in mind, he's keeping up with Maki, and he has a plethora of nerfs attached to him. His output is still cooked from the Gojo fight. So that's messing with the rate at which he heals RCT. And RCT takes double the regular curse energy to heal with. So that put him down to Yuta's level. Now he done messed around and got stabbed in the heart. So now he has to put more curse energy into fueling RCT and healing himself. Yuta also ripped out a tongue, so there's no extra chanting. And Yuji also did his handiwork with the soul shaking. And that's where I guess this was a contingency plan. And that's one thing I like about series like this and Hunter x Hunter, where the fighters, yeah, they're pretty brawlic, they'll throw hands, but their mind is always working before the fight, during the fight, just making competent moves. I know sometimes they can't make the perfect move every time, and that's what's great about it, because it humanizes them. It makes them more of a character instead of just some battle robot, and it makes things just fun to watch and see how things play out. And based off the wild statement we get from Uralume, this isn't even the type of press that we think it is, apparently. But characters in the series and even the narrator have been proven wrong. And on the other side of the argument, Gege, when he hypes certain characters, he makes sure to follow through with that hype. So my overall thoughts on this chapter, it was a great chapter. It's following along with the formula of character makes an intro immediately at the end of the previous battle. They get ready to do their thing. You know, they go back and forth. Now, will it follow suit that Sukuna prevails again? We'll just have to see. Obviously, if you know a little bit about writing and just have been following the story, me personally, Maki isn't enough, but she's a great asset to continue on the pressure. Now, it looks like to me she's kind of set up for failure even more than the others because she's essentially fighting solo. But we'll just have to see, man. Now, this will be part 2 of the audio. I was doing a 2-for-1. This is my thoughts going into the next chapter, as well as the review of 253. when we pick up on 253, we see that Maki is pretty much soloing, and she's holding her own. You know, and Kusakabe tried to contribute, but Sukuna is just not going for it, and it's rough. So already that's kind of a flag for me. And while even thematically, I didn't expect a whole lot from Maki, let me take that back. With her being Toji 2.0 or Toji Jr., she has nothing but hype behind her, and she's just needed a full showcase. Because even when she did what she did against the Zenin clan, she was effectively not at full strength and didn't have the mental awakening that was needed for that. But we see a lot of dope choreography. We see there contending in slashes, going bar for bar, line for line. And then she gets pressed a little bit once we learn that Sukuna's curiosity has been piqued. And the fact that a vessel that has pretty much thrown jujutsu away is challenging a man that's at the height of jujutsu. So when Ino and Kusakabe try to back her up, they end up just having to be saved by Maki, which I guess isn't totally useless. I mean, she got a little breather, but my thing is, they should have picked a better time to come in. I think maybe when the barrier first broke and she did the rush in, why couldn't they, go for a pincer attack? Maybe once we saw that Maki's up slash from the chest didn't work, then Kusakabe could have came in, but that's neither here nor there. A highlight I'd like to point out is when she saves Kusakabe and tackles Sukuna into a pillar, ends up on the other side of the pillar, shoulder charges it, and then the force from that shoulder charge moves through the pillar and knocks Sukuna on the other side into another wall. To me, that's so dope. And me being a fan of martial arts, the movie references are there. If you know, you know. Now things are looking a little too good because you start to feel like, okay, Maki finna put in some work, knock another notch off of him to make his defeat look somewhere on the horizon. But like I said earlier, with his peak being interest. But like I said, with his interest being piqued and the comment about Uraume being made in the previous chapter, he proceeds to turn up by perception blitzing, arguably one of the characters that should have the most heightened of senses, given that that's what you gave up curse energy to have, right? Like overall physical stats. She's seeing shifts in the atmosphere. She can see sounds and hear colors now. It's crazy. She still gets perception blitz. So then it goes into that pivotal moment that was all in the back of our mind, at least my mind. Most fights can have a turning point, and usually what comes with that or without it, you don't necessarily have to have an awakening, but we get a black flash, and not just any old black flash. A 3-page Naruto, Jackie Chan, triple impact panel black flash. And we saw what happened the last time a character got off a black flash. Black flash is the great equalizer, and it's one of those factors that's just apparently unpredictable. Now with him dropping Maki into a wall, having her blast off like Team Rocket off screen, I do not believe this is the last we've seen of Maki. In my opinion, she's been hit with worse. From the way she got handled in the little mini Zenin clan arc of preparation. I forgot what the chapter series was called. It's on the tip of my tongue, but at that point, not only was she wounded before her full restriction release, but after, and she still proceeded to manhandle the Zenin clan and show why Toji was so feared. And let's not forget, she didn't even have the mindset awakening she had later on during the Culling Games. So no, I do not think this is the last we've seen of Maki. And what I think is going to happen next, with us having Kusakabe up next, I think he's just going to be the ultimate stall. I don't see him going for the win. And he's even proved if things get too dicey, he will leave. Not saying I doubt him, but you don't just reach grade 1 because you're a pushover. But I also think about other characters who are grade 1, like Nanami and Mei. They kind of know when the going gets tough. They will get going, but they're also smart enough to know that I don't have to make my last grand stand here. This doesn't have to be my grand exit. So I do think he will stall as long as he can until at least Yuji can get back into the fray. And yeah, man, this was a great chapter. It's interesting to see these characters bring out more of Sukuna's character, because it looks like we're in the long haul for seeing Sukuna versus. It's like a dang arcade game or a fighting game where you pick your character and you gotta climb up the arcade ladder. And obviously Yuji's gonna be the final boss, but how he's gonna prevail, I don't know, man. I don't think he'll do it alone, but there are some things that we're gonna need to see. And what I want to know is, how do y'all feel about this gauntlet so far? I knew we still have more to see from Sukuna. For one, we still don't know what his technique is. We haven't seen the fire arrow, something that Kusakabe was wary of earlier in the fight. So who knows? It might be coming up soon. Black Flash, pretty much, I won't say pretty much, but dang near, Black Flash is kind of a reset button. It won't take back all damage. I'll take that back as well. It kind of is a really good reset button considering his output is returning. So that just means more RCT, and you know that means more healing, and that just sped up the time clock on his domain coming back. Now I'm glad we didn't see it here, because honestly if Domain came back against Maki, I honestly don't think she'd have any defense against it. Because once it's open, so it's irrelevant whether she can get trapped in it or not. And then Cleaving Dismantle can hit things with cursed energy and without, so she's not safe. He can move and fight within it too. So if he really wanted to oppress her, he could. Now I think once our heroes like make a grand entrance to come back, I think one idea that could happen is someone will have to fire their domain up with everybody inside to where the sure hits are a non-factor, because everybody's not capable of simple domain, obviously. I also think, will we get a return of the spear weapon? Because we got the lightning bolt curse object. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it because the name's not in front of me and I don't want to butcher it. But if there's a condition to the curse object, then it could make an appearance. And I just think there's going to be something that, like, since Sukuna is the wall, not only do they have to surpass Gojo, who couldn't even bring out the most in Sukuna. And I think a lot of that was just this hand arrow form. But at the end of the day, Gojo couldn't bring that out of him. He was damn close, but couldn't bring that out. So not only do they have to surpass Gojo, but they also have to surpass Sukuna. How big that gap is, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. I'm not a power scaler. I'm just here for the enjoyment, bro. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all thoughts are. Is Kusakabe gonna hang? Will he turn tail and run, or will he hold it down for our students? If y'all like this content, y'all make sure y'all subscribe and hit the like button. Leave a comment, let me know what y'all like.